What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back for another review of The Impact Atlanta. This is Season 2, Episode 5, and the episode is titled, Everybody Knows You Fake. So let's jump right into the review. First things first, we have Ari. She's hanging out with her sisters, and they talk about her next business moves because baby girl is a boss out here. She has her Remedy Cosmetics line. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know anybody who uses Ari's products. If you do, drop down in the comments. Are they good? What is she really selling out here? But baby girl says that she's going to drop a swimwear line because what else would she be selling with a body like hers, okay? So here's my thing. Because she's talking about how, she has multiple streams of income and all of that's all good. But I'm just wondering, do you actually even like swimwear? Do people see her in swimwear all the time or something? I think it's so interesting how socialites, reality stars, celebrities, they love to drop these random lines that have nothing to do with a regular brand. I cannot recall a time that I have actually seen Ari in swimwear. Haven't seen it. But maybe she gonna surprise me. Another thing that I noticed is that she's the second girl on this show to mention that they have a swimwear line. First it was Carly, now it's Ari. Again, my question is, any of y'all buying their products? Anybody? Please drop down in the comments and let me know. So we have her sister, I can't remember what her name is, I think it's Kiana or something. She's asking Ari about their dad. And she's like, what do you think you would say to our dad right now if he was standing in front of you? And I'm just starting to think, is the sister already in talks with the dad? Has she already had a conversation with him? And now she's trying to check Ari's temperature to see where she is and how Ari feels about meeting the dad? Because I'm every time y'all meet up, y'all not about to bring up this daddy situation. Please stop. Especially considering Ari has to reach out to this grown man. So Ari says that whenever she talks to him, she plans on letting him know how she feels and letting that be that. Now, I will say that Ari definitely raised a good point where she was in her confessional, what if I go into this, have a conversation with this man, and things are worse off than where we started? And I'm yep, that's absolutely something that can happen. To where you go into a conversation with your father thinking that you're going to come out on the other side in the positive, and really it could end up being negative. So Ari actually ends up calling her father right there on the spot, and instead of her talking, her sister was going to do the talking. And this man did not pick up the phone, but nonetheless, her sister just left a message saying hey, I was talking to Ari, we just want to chop it up with you so that way we can get to the bottom of where you went wrong and disappeared on us. Now, she didn't say all that, but that's where we was going with it, okay? Now, let's go ahead and move on to Tucson, okay? Baby boy's out here working. Not only is he trying to put out music, but he is starting a podcast. What he was saying was the title, I have no idea because he just kept running in words together. Somebody drop down in the comments. Let me know what the title of the podcast is. Nonetheless, it is him and his friend Dolly. They decided to come on through, create a podcast. And next thing you know, who's going to be his first guest? Des Dior. Now, I can't lie. I thought that the first guest would have probably been Ari because, Tucson is obsessed with Ari. But no, it's Des. And Des, she doesn't know what to expect coming into this because at the end of the day, this is the first episode of this podcast. You don't know what these people are going to ask you. But Des is going in there with some positive energy. And we start off good because we're talking about her going on tour. We're talking about her doing fashion. She says that she wants to explore all the things that she's good at because you're not about to put Des Dior in a box. No, ma'am. And then they decide that they're going to play this game, this or that. I can't really remember all the questions, but I do recall one of them being, does she like to do more singing or rapping? Somebody drop down in the comments, is Des a singer? Because this whole time I thought all she did was rap. See, now I'm even more confused by the whole cast. I feel like everybody got 50-11 jobs on this show. Nonetheless, she says that she likes rapping more. And then goes on to talk about how she basically drops the music that she wants out And so far, that is what has gotten her to the place that she's in. Now, here goes Tucson giving his story of how he used to work with his family and they kind of controlled the type of music he was making and all of the business aspects. So he was over it and he decided to just go get him a little job and leave the rapping stuff alone. But basically, he decided to come back to rapping under a new name, which was Tucson. Did anybody know what Tucson's real name is? I'm just curious. But nonetheless, this interview, it went pretty well. He was definitely glad that Dez came through for him, considering this was his first show. And he ends up asking her if she's going to Lakia's party. And she's like, no, I'm going to be out of town. So we already know that Carly is friends with Lakia. So, of course, she's going to be at this party. Hopefully, Tucson and Carly don't get into no mess. Now, he ends up updating Dez on what happened at the last photo shoot when Carly walked in with him, Tay, and Ari. Now, of course, is he being shady? Absolutely. Of course, is he explaining the situation that happened with her not giving him her phone number? Absolutely. Now, I can't lie. Am I tired of hearing this story? Absolutely. But we gonna keep hearing it clearly. So he goes on to talk about how she called him phony. He felt like all this stuff was shady that she was doing. Dez already agrees with Tucson because, number one, she don't like Carly. And number two, she feels like he's not that type of person the way Carly is trying to make it seem. Alright, enough of talking about Tucson and his shenanigans with Carly. Let's move on to Tay. Because we actually see him and his mom, they go to an astrologer. And after he got just a little bit of information about them, he started telling them about themselves. For example, the mom had some stomach issues. He's like, yeah, you was born with that. You need to go ahead and avoid meat. So now this man, he's telling Tay how, he's up for review, okay? For all the work that he's been doing, he is up for review. As well as he's going to have some domestic challenges, aka this little moving situation that you thought was going to be easy is not. So it may take Tay some time to actually find a place, or it might be that he's still going to be trying to be back and forth so that way he can still rock with his family but still try to be in New York. Baby boy life seems like it's going to be all over the place for the next couple of months. So him and his mom, they actually have a conversation after the guy leaves or whatever. And they talk about how Tay has a big class that he's going to be teaching coming up. I believe it's like a master class on how to do hair. And he's really excited for it because he hasn't done a class in a long time. He's still deciding, which client that he has that is a celebrity that could possibly come into the class and be a model. And one thing that I will say that I noticed is that his mom is very supportive of Tay. It seems like whatever Tay wants, she seems to really support her child, and I love that. So we also see that Lakia has actually invited him to the pajama party, and he's like, yeah, I've never been to one of those. And it's like, okay, but you're going to go to this one, so go buy you some cute pajamas and take yourself to the party. So they go on to talk about how he saw Carly at the photo shoot. He's still not really feeling her, but he does miss her. He doesn't understand how she tried to cross him in the past. And even his mom was like, she was one of the first people that I even met down here. And she can recall the fact that Jerrika and Tay, they were close at one point. All right, y'all, let's go ahead and move on over to Lakia. You guys know, whenever we see her, she's about her business. It's always about work when it comes to her. So we actually see her. She is going to a show that she's going to be performing at. And shout out to the host there, Asia Shabazz. She's like a DJ around LA, and she's really dope. Like, I've heard her play a few times, and she's really dope as a DJ. But back to Lakia. She goes on stage, she's performing, and this is where she really does shine. I really do like Lakia. Like, something about her I like. Like, she seems to always be about her business, not here for the drama. She just got to get her, some good singles. And honestly, I feel like if she were to actually tap into the idea of her rapping about being with women, that may work in her favor because it's not going to sound like everything else that's on the radio right now. Just saying, Lakia. But after she does her performance, she goes to talk to her publicist. Now, I'm going to be completely honest. Austin is cute. Let me go find Austin around LA. But back to the subject at hand. I got to get back to Lakia. Baby girl says that she's ready to drop music. She tells him the name of her single. And she goes on to talk about how she's really trying to be successful. At the same time, she has realized that there are a lot of female rappers that are out right now. But like he said, listen, there's only one Lakia, girl. So we just need for you to believe in yourself and drop some heat, okay? Just go ahead, drop some new songs. And really get out there. Start working with some other people. Like, I know right now we have this whole idea of, oh, all the female rappers should work together. Yeah, they should. But also, I want y'all to be dropping y'all own singles. Work with male artists. Like, flip the script. For example, my thing is that right now, everybody's doing the same thing as far as music goes. And I'm just like, okay, but y'all know y'all can switch things up. For example, all the rappers, they want to sing on the tracks. Go find you an R&B singer to go sing y'all hooks, okay? Go find Coco Jones. And if you really want to flip it, go find a male singer to sing the hook of your songs like they used to do back in the day. Because I'm pretty sure that will shock your audience because they're not expecting it. And it just might blow up. Just tossing this idea out here. All right, let's go ahead and move on over to Ari, Tucson, and Kiana, okay? Because they are working out with Ari's trainer. And baby, they're putting in that work, right? According to Ari, Tucson wasn't even invited. However, he has made his way to this workout session. So he's over here telling her how, girl, your abs are coming in and that booty moving like a waterbed. I hollered, a waterbed, sir? That's the reference that you wanted to use? I can't. But don't worry, it gets worse with Tucson. Because Ari's out here just really putting in that work, busting a sweat, you know what I'm saying? Working out super hard. Here we go. We see Tucson handing a bag to Kiana talking about, oh, this is for us. Y'all, why was it chicken sandwiches? Why is Tucson in the gym smacking on chicken sandwiches? Then have the audacity to pull out some banana pudding. Come get Tucson. Come get Tucson. So after they work out, Kiana tells Ari that she did talk to their father and he is willing to meet with them to talk about what went down back in the day. So Ari is definitely nervous about this, but at the end of the day, girl, you said you wanted to meet up with this man. You just gotta face your fears and do it. So Tucson talking about some, oh yeah, when they go to Chicago to go see their daddy, he basically can come too, so that way he can get some potato salad from their granny house. And I'm just like, Tucson, you've done enough eating. We don't need you to eat no more, okay, Mr. Chicken Sandwich? So they talk about Ari's party, not Ari, Lakia's party, and Ari says she don't know if she even gonna go because she need to get her hair done. I'm just like, girl, if you know that Tay is coming and Tay does hair, no, wait, scratch that. Tucson should be able to do your hair because wasn't he Tay's assistant? And Tay only does hair. So shouldn't Tucson know how to put a wig on your head? I'm just saying. Or was he more so on like the business side of being Tay's assistant? Like he used to do paperwork. Because I'm thinking if he's an assistant, it's in assisting doing hair. But you know what? I digress. Baby girl says she got to figure out who gonna do her hair because Tay is booked and busy. Nonetheless, Tucson talks about the photo shoot and how he didn't like the fact that Tay and Ari let Carly talk about him. Oh, well, here's the thing. Ari felt like Carly had a valid point. And her point was that why were you still hanging out with her after she didn't give you her number? So now you have Tucson explaining how no, that's not how it really was. I'm tight with her friend D, who I believe is the stylist. I could be wrong, but I think it's the stylist. I'm tight with him, so he's the one who was like, let's go to the next spot, blah, blah, blah. Therefore, Tucson don't really feel like he was hanging out with her like that. She just happened to be there. And also on top of that, he says that he wasn't going to let her, not giving him her phone number stop him from having a good time. Now, Ari feels like both of them are idiots, but she does see that both people have a side to this story. Ari feels like these two people can work it out. According to Tucson, she cool, and he's cool on her. I said, you know what? I might have to use that at some point. But let's go ahead and slide on over to Tay. He's at his house. He's invited his family over. And it looks like he has a family full of women because, like, all his cousins were girls. His mom was there, his sisters. And he basically lets them know that, he wants to move to New York. Now, one of his sisters, I believe, was like, okay, you've been saying that for a long time. And he's like, no, like, I'm being serious. Like, I want to keep my house here, but I also want to get a place in New York. And I feel like that was the same sister talking. And she was like, oh, see, no, that's doing too much. Girl, just be honest. You don't want your brother to leave. And he is trying to tell his family, like, listen, I'm going to keep both places. And you have somebody chiming in like, well, why would you keep your place in Atlanta? And his mom is saying like, no, keep the place in Atlanta. Because if New York don't work out, you always want to have a place to fall back on, basically. And she tells him that, if you go to New York, I'm not always going to be there. I'm not just going to be one call away. Because, she's based in New York. I mean, not New York. She's based in Atlanta. So if he call his mama, she going to be right on the road coming down the block to come save her baby. And she's like, I'm not going to be able to do that if you all the way in New York. So now we have Tay's mom trying to figure out, when is he going to drop his hoe shit line? And according to her, she's like, I thought that you would make sure that you get everything done in Atlanta first and then try to move to New York. And he like, location don't even matter because I can drop the line whenever I feel like it. Now, the rest of that conversation that he had with his family, it got to be very repetitious for me. So let's go ahead and move on. Let's get to the party. It's Lakia's party. Now, she keeps wanting to include her girlfriend in the title, like, oh yeah, it's me and Keontae party. Girl, we don't know her. So it's your party. Nonetheless, Carly shows up and she look cute or whatever. And then we see Ari and Tucson. They get there. And according to Tucson, he basically about to be cordial with Carly. He walks over there to her and he's like, hey, Bookie, how you doing? All of this stuff. And I'm just like, you so fake. Like, you could have just said a swift little hey, or just, hey, girl. But no, you really was putting 20 on 10. So, y'all, what does this party consist of? Hookah and ass cheeks everywhere. That right there was the consensus of the party. Because all you saw was girls throwing it back everywhere. And the guys who were there, they were just smoking hookah the whole time. I said, okay. So they decide to play a game. And at first, things are going good. However, Ari pulls a card and it's like, drink if you secretly have beef with somebody that's here. Of course, Tucson takes a sip. And then Carly has to address it. And she's like, oh, I'm going to take a sip because me and Tucson, we never get on the same page or whatever. And I'm just like, all right, here we go with the mess. So they low-key start to go like back and forth. And nobody in the room knows what's going on or why these two are arguing. Like, I can't with Carly because she's talking about, so yeah, because we be seeing each other in the club or whatever. And he's like, girl, I only saw you like 2 times. Here she come. It was 4. I'm like, why are you counting how many times you saw Tucson at the club? That sounds very lame to me. So he's trying to calm the situation down. At least that's what it seemed like to me. Tucson seems to be over it. Like, he's tired of having the same conversation with Jerika, and I'm tired of him having it as well. So he just basically tell her, like, listen, I'm not trying to argue with you. Y'all know what her response was. oh, you're fake as fuck. And I'm just like, ma'am, nobody told you to escalate this far. Please chill out. So basically, this now has angered Tucson. So he's like, listen, let's just cut it here. At the end of the day, the only reason why you even tried to, come around me was because you knew that you was going to come around this circle. AKA, the only reason why you even talking to me is because you knew that you was going to have to film this TV show. So Lakia, she over it because at the end of the day, this is not what her party was about. Her party was all about having a good time, not these two people arguing like they always do every time they're in the same room. So you have Tucson saying that, there's no beef. He sound like he over it. Carly is saying how he talked about her to her friends. I'm just like, can y'all just agree to not get along and shut up? Go to y'all separate corners? Because you have Carly, she wants to get her words out. Tucson is over there screaming that this girl's trying to deflect. I'm drained. I'm so drained and I wasn't even at this party. You can already tell that Ari is tired of hearing these same conversations over and over again. It's very childish. Next thing you know, she gathers the children and tells them to go outside and have a conversation. So when they go outside, Ari tells them that, both of them should apologize to each other, be cordial, and move on. And here's the thing, girl, they don't even know what they apologizing for because both of them feel like they are in the right. So this whole thing went absolutely nowhere. Before they walked into the house, Jerika called him, fake or phony, one or the other, and tapped him on the nose. I'm like, girl, you're childish. Yeah, that was pretty much that. She ends up leaving. And honestly, you guys, I want Carly to go ahead and leave the whole show. Because I'm sorry, no offense, I get that she got a lot of stuff going on with like YSL being indicted and all that. But girl, these people aren't your friends. You're coming around for what? Like, they don't rock with you. So it's kind of pointless. Now, we did see Lakia, Ari, and Tucson have a conversation about how, moving forward, we should just go ahead, keep those two separate. But also, let's address the fact that she touched his face and she shouldn't have touched him at all. Because like Tucson said, had she been, touching somebody else's nose, they probably would have popped her. And that's very true. Because you need to keep your hands to yourself. Now, y'all, that was the episode. Hopefully the next one is a little bit better. Let me know whose side y'all on. Are y'all team Tucson or team Carly? Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.